Hey everyone, Joe here. Time for a quick channel update. Actually, I don't know how quick it's going to be. In the past, I've sort of teased that something is going on in my personal life, and I've been a little coy about what exactly that is, so I figured now's the time. I lost my job in October, and I was working at that company for a little over 11 years. It was by far the longest I've been employed anywhere. My career hasn't been that long yet, 15 years or so, give or take. So it was 2/3 of my professional career so far. So I'd been there a very long time. Maybe I got a little too comfortable. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that. That makes it sound like I got fired. So I got laid off. Actually, a lot of the team got laid off. And that's part of the reason that I haven't been able to talk about it yet. I probably still shouldn't be talking about it. Don't go digging just yet. If you're the kind of person who gets curious and goes digging, please don't do that. I'm sure you can find things, you're resourceful people, but there are still a few of my former team members that are left behind, sort of the skeleton crew of the skeleton crew manning the skeleton ship. I want to make sure they're still okay. So yeah, please don't do anything. Just don't go digging too much, okay? So yeah, most of the team was let go after a very long time. The company isn't doing very well and hasn't been for a long time. Times were really tough, and I knew it was coming. Honestly, times had been tough for so long that I think I had tricked myself into thinking, well, we'll get through this one too, because we always do. It's always, a scary scenario where we don't know if we're going to make it. Maybe we, somebody gets let go, but the rest of us keep trucking on. And it had been going that way for so long that I just got used to it. It was just kind of how it was. But not this time. This time was for real. It was a bit of I don't want to say it was a shock because, like I said, it was so long in coming that I had just gotten used to it. Yeah, it all happened rather quickly, as these things tend to do. And after 11 and a half years or so, I suddenly found myself back in the job market. And I hate being there. I don't know about you, but I really don't like job searching. Who likes job searching? Probably somebody, some weirdo. I think most people don't like job searching, but I really don't like job searching. It's very awkward to sell yourself. It's very awkward to prove yourself to strangers that you've had very little interaction with, sometimes no interaction. You just hop on a Zoom call and suddenly you are writing code for a stranger under time pressure. And I've always been bad in that scenario. I get a lot of interview anxiety, which is, I think, unusual for me because I don't get a lot of social anxiety normally. Job interviews bring it out like nothing else. In some ways, my career has been avoiding job interviews. I had one job after college, after graduating, that I held for almost 5 years, which is pretty long, but not too long. I think the average has been declining over the years. But this one was almost 12 years, and that's really unusual, especially today. I think the average stay in a tech industry job is something crazy, like, I don't know, like less than 18 months. It's like a year and change, maybe. Most people are constantly shifting jobs, and that's smart. They're smart to do that because they're all getting paid a lot more than I was, because the best way to get paid more money is to find somebody who will say, well, whatever you're making today, we'll double it because your boss isn't paying you enough. Those are smart people. I just I didn't want that bad enough to go through the job interview process if I didn't have to. Anyway, so that decision was sort of made for me. I was in the job market whether I wanted to be or not. Honestly, for a little while, I kind of dragged my feet. It was the holidays. I had just been let go from a place I'd been for over a decade and was kind of trying to figure out what my place in the world was going to be, what I was even going to do. And coming back to the channel here, what was I going to do with Infiniwar? Nothing is happening to Infiniwar. It is still my baby. It's still my hobby project until the end of time. I mean, hopefully it's playable before the end of time. Just I'll keep working on it. My plan is to keep working on Infiniwar. It's always been a passion project, a nights and weekends project. While I was working, it continued to be that. When I wasn't working, when you're unemployed, you suddenly have a new job, and that job is to become employed again. Even though I had all this time on my hands, I really wasn't working more on Infiniwar than normally. In fact, I was probably working less because, well, honestly, I was just more stressed out and more unsure of the future and more under time pressure than before when I had, I guess, what I'd call my stable job, which is kind of funny to think about now. Yeah, stable for certain definitions of stable. So even though I had all this free time, I really haven't been working on Infiniwar more since I lost my job, because I had been out of the job market for so long that everything was ancient. My resume was ancient, my LinkedIn profile was ancient, my interviewing skills were ancient, my interview coding skills were ancient, and I needed to start improving all of those things. I had no portfolio available, and being a web front-end developer who doesn't have any web presence is a little suspicious, you might say. I had a lot of things that I needed to shore up and improve and work on and study and all of that. So that's really what I've been focusing on as my full-time job these past few months, since Halloween. Yeah, I was laid off on Halloween, which is pretty spooky. So I've been spending the last few months just getting back up to interview shape. It's been a challenge because, as I said before, I do not like being here. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like it. I don't think anybody does, but I really don't like it. So fortunately, recently I've gotten some good news, a little bit of good news at least, and that is some contractor work that is coming through for me, which in the short term will stop the descent, stop the bleeding. It's very disconcerting to see your bank account draining every day, every week, every month, not knowing in the future what will arrest that particular fall. I at least have some opportunities there, some options that will tide me over in the short term. So that's good. Wish me luck on that front. Since these are some new projects, some new positions, there's going to be some adjustment period of just getting used to the people and the project and the timelines and everything else. And that will likely mean that Infiniwar remains kind of on the back burner as it has been for the past few months. It's still my passion project that I'm working on nights and weekends, but making sure I have a stable income so that I can keep doing it has to take priority. I sort of think of it as the funding arm of Infiniwar Studio, which it can't be called that. We need to come up with a name. I need a name for whatever this is. I'll be thinking about that. So yeah, I'm excited to maybe be seeing some light towards the end of this particular tunnel. With any luck, I will be able to start moving the trend in the right direction in terms of my personal finances and start to feel a little more stable and settle into the new routine with the contractor work. I'm still working on Infiniwar every week, just not every day. Some days I've got a lot of career stuff to work on, whether that's prepping for an interview or in the future now, hopefully. Still haven't signed these contracts, by the way, so I suppose I might be jumping the gun a bit here, but hopefully by the time you're seeing this, I will have inked one or more of these contracts, and we'll be off to the races, as they say. In the meantime, all of my efforts are being refocused on the demo, because everything points to the demo as being the next thing that the project needs. I need player feedback, I need player testing to make sure that it will actually run on hardware that's not mine. It needs more contact with reality than it's had so far. A lot of the demo work, unfortunately, is just very unsexy. There's not a lot of new features going in, or at least not a lot of new features that are super interesting or marketable or interesting as a video thumbnail or even a Twitter post. A lot of code cleanup, a lot of bug fixing, reorganizing old prototyping code into something that could potentially ship as production code one day. And none of that is particularly interesting or sexy. One of the things that I'm planning on doing soon, probably the video after this one, just going through what the game does now, just kind of the things the game has, the features that it has now, what would be available in a demo. And obviously it won't be the full game. There's a lot of that left to build, but a lot of the core combat mechanics, this sort of glorified skirmish mode is all there. And I think there's some cool stuff to share there. So that'll probably be in the near future. Just to wrap up, we've got a few channel member shout outs to make. 3 of you, I think, have hit your 2-month service medal. We've got Esposito Adam, Lisa Parrott, and ALX 2079. So thank you for sticking with the channel. And then thank you to all my channel members, General Goman Snana, Commissioned Officers Trigue Black Tiger, Ryan Grill, Esposito Adam, and NCOs Lisa Parrott and ALX 2079. It's been a rough couple of months here, honestly, in the Infiniwar studio, and having you guys supporting the channel has been a great morale boost to me personally. So thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget to wishlist Infiniwar on Steam, and thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video.